From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, June the 29th, 2022. The dissolving of Israel's parliament is reportedly delayed until tomorrow. It was expected today. This after the legislation was held up by objections from a number of parties in the Knesset House Committee. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, meanwhile, announced tonight that he will not run in the expected upcoming elections in Israel, likely to take place at the end of October, beginning of November. Interior Minister Ayelet Shaked will now lead the Yamina party. Bennett will remain as alternate prime minister once Foreign Minister Yair Lapid becomes interim prime minister. Bennett was cited by the Times of Israel, telling the Israeli public tonight, "I will remain a loyal soldier in the service of this country." He said, "We proved this year that people with very different positions can work together without abandoning their positions, stressing only together can we win. If we are divided, we simply won't be. Let's learn to understand and respect each other instead of to hate." Terror group Hamas released a video yesterday showing captive Israeli citizen Hisham AlSayed for the first time. He is said to be in deteriorating health and is seen in the video hooked up to oxygen. AlSayed, a Bedouin Israeli, crossed into Gaza in 2015 and has been held by Hamas since then. Avira Mengistu, who crossed into Gaza in 2014, is also being held by Hamas in Gaza. Both are said to suffer from mental illness. The Times of Israel cites AlSayed's father, Shaban, telling local radio regarding any possible exchange deal for his son, "We want all of the captives to return home to their families. I am prepared to wait more so that they release all of them." Lapid railed against Hamas, calling the years-long captivity both cruel and unfathomable, noting the terror group is also holding the bodies of two IDF soldiers, Hadar Golden and Oron Shaul, trampling, Lapid said, on both basic morality and international law, calling on the international community to condemn Hamas and demand it act according to international law and free the civilians and bodies it is holding. Well, after an almost year-long battle with Ben & Jerry's over its ban of selling the ice cream in the West Bank, a deal was reached today, seen as a major victory against BDS, the boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign that seeks to delegitimize the state of Israel. In the agreement, Ben & Jerry's parent company, Unilever, is selling Ben & Jerry's Israel to Israeli distributor Avi Zinger, giving him the right to produce and sell the product under its Hebrew and Arabic names freely. The decision was welcomed by Lapid, who called it a victory for all those who know that the struggle against BDS is first and foremost a struggle for partnership and dialogue and against discrimination and hate. The Simon Wiesenthal Center's Rabbi Marvin Hier, who received a call this morning from Unilever CEO Alan Jope about the deal, said together with Rabbi Abraham Cooper, "We commend Unilever for finally doing the right thing and putting an end to the anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, and anti-peace boycott by extremists on Ben & Jerry's board." The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations cited a letter from Jope stating that Unilever rejects completely and repudiates unequivocally any form of discrimination or intolerance. "We have never expressed any support for the BDS movement," they wrote, "and have no intention of changing that position." Conference leaders saying this is a victory against discrimination and for dialogue and inclusion. It shows that allowing the BDS movement to guide policy is not in the financial interest of corporations, urging others to follow suit. Former Nazi guard Josephschutz was convicted in Germany yesterday of over 3,500 counts of accessory to murder. Schutz, who is now 101 years old, said to be the oldest person ever tried for Nazi war crimes, was proven by the court to have worked at the Sachsenhausen concentration camp between 1942 and 1945, something he continues to deny, where DPA cited presiding Judge Udo Lechterman telling Schutz, "You willingly supported this mass extermination with your activity." Schutz was sentenced to 5 years in prison. It remains to be seen whether he will actually serve time in jail due to his age and frail health. Well, this past Saturday, June the 25th, marked the 75th anniversary of the publication of the Diary of Anne Frank, or as it is known in its original Dutch, Het Achterhuis, the secret annex. Otto Frank, Anne's father, fulfilled his daughter's wishes with the publication in 1947, 3 years after her death in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp at the age of 15. How proud Anne would have been, he said later, if she had lived to see this. The Anne Frank House opened a special exhibit to mark the anniversary that goes through the chronology of the piece from its first publication through film and theater productions. And Google paid tribute with a slideshow doodle sharing Anne's words, including what she wrote on July the 15th of 1944, just a few weeks before the SS stormed the secret annex and sent Anne and her family to the death camps. "I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good at heart." Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, June the 29th at 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study. At 7:30, Duke University's Dan Ariely speaks on the truth about honesty. At 8, transgender author Yiscah Smith talks about her life's journey. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Rabbi Kenneth Brander on L'chaim. At 10, learn about the history of internet regulation, how social media platforms function today, how platform policies can fuel online discrimination, and what policymakers can do to curb it. That's in a panel from the ADL. And coming up next, it's Thinking Out Loud. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, June the 29th, 2022. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.